record. Awesome. Okay, so it's doing all right. TV's on. We're good. So it is. What is today? Oh, August 21st. This is our team call for just kind of refocusing and kind of going over some stuff. I want to keep it basic and simple. We're doing the August Madness right now, so a lot of us have daily action steps. One of the best posts I think Jamil put in the August Madness was, if you've noticed, all the homework is pretty much the same. So that's something what I want to share is how simple this is as far as wash, rinse, repeat, and a lot of us kind of overthink it. But there's a couple things I do want to go through right now, just as far as basic house cleaning stuff and things that coaches need to know, especially new coaches. So I'm going to share my screen. Oh, that looks really good. Who posted that? Oh, my wife. Huh? Nice. Must be nice. Harper, mom's at Disneyland, in case you were wondering. Anyways, so here's a couple things we want to know as new coaches. One is if you haven't been added to Agents of Transformation, please make sure that you go add yourself to this. There's a little invite tab if you go to your phone, right about here on your phone where this picture is. If you want to add yourself on Facebook, you come down right here on your computer and you put yourself in. If you're not too tech savvy on how to do that, have your mentor coach add you, please. So this is basically all the company information that the company is going to share with you. This is where you can get these links for the Monday night calls and the Wednesday night calls, the Habits of Health calls, anything that's going on for our community that you want to share with clients, updates, things like that. It's pretty self-sufficient in the Agents of Transformation group. The other group I wanted to share with you guys, which is very impactful, if you're a brand new coach, especially you guys watching the playback, if you're a brand new coach and you have not actively started Facebook or done a Facebook launch, please wait. Work with your mentors on wherever you're at. If they haven't shown you this yet, I'm not saying you don't have to be added to the group, but don't just start posting a bunch of pictures if we haven't done our own Facebook grand opening or anything of an announcement to publicize that we are doing something before we just start blasting before and after pictures. So anyways, this is where we can get stories. Pretty much every day people are posting amazing stories. Obviously, we don't want to use this type of post yet because people don't know what we're doing. We definitely don't want to be putting Optavia out there because Google is kind of our worst enemy as of right now. Until you've branded yourself, don't recommend putting anything with Optavia on it. So anyways, here's multiple stories. For some of you that are not tech savvy, you can click see more, literally copy this, save the video, or save the picture to your computers. If you really need to, just by clicking this link down at the bottom, it says options, download. You can even come over this way, hit Control-C, save that, take it over to your Facebook page, just like this, and post it up here, so on and so forth. So those are the two groups we want to look at. Agents of Transformation, which is our company business page, and then Transformational Stories, which is just stories that'll help you change or post for weight loss. The other page we have is Journey to Health, which is basically us for our clients. And then Growing to Senior Coach is for a coach that is brand new all the way up until they bring on 5 clients. And then they will graduate into a different group. So that's for those. Who's on this thing right here? Okay. So hopefully if anybody's on here or sees the playback, the next group that you're probably not going to be able to find because you haven't hit Senior Coach yet is going to be, where's it at? This group right here. And this is Motivation for Change. So basically this is after you've graduated from 5 clients and hit Senior Coach, you get to come in here. So Beverly, to answer your question, you're asking about different videos and stuff. You see the Files tab right here? You click on the Files tab, and you can come down here to Simple Systems. And then you click in this group or this link, and this will give you that information. So they're obviously updating it right now. That's why some stuff is kind of moved around and missing, because we're going to the Dr. A's 2.0. But some of the things you're looking to ask about, sending a new coach starting point, how to start their business off, or anything down to share about the program. Here's the health assessment. And then what was your other one you were asking about? Here's the night before video, which I already gave you that link. But here's the night before video, new client welcome letter, which we send to clients before or once they order their program. And then I think your other question was after they've ordered and they want to go re-update their program. I believe it's down here somewhere. So anyways, this has a lot of information. Please do not give it to a brand new coach. Most of you guys on this call are not brand new coaches, so I shouldn't have to worry about this, but this can intimidate somebody. Here's how to place your client's first order. If you don't know how to do that, this is what we would send to ours. Oh, here it is right here, Deb or Bev. How to update your client's premier order. See this? So anyway, so those are some of the main factors. So new coaches won't be able to get into motivation for change because they're not past senior coach. So I'm not really worried about that. But those three main, these pretty much these groups right here are the ones you want to kind of be looking at as of right now, as far as that's concerned. Does anybody have any questions about that so far? I'm going to slow it down. No. Stacy, how are we doing? Doing all right? All right. What do you call it? Okay, so one other thing too I wanted to share with you guys is in your Growing to Senior Coach, which is your brand new group, whether you're a mentor coach or not. We have also, I don't know if you guys saw on your health assessments, there's actually a checklist for clients what to do that come with those health assessments. If you print out all the pages correctly. If not, please, mentor coaches or even you as a brand new coach in your brand new client group, Growing to Senior Coach, after each health assessment, you want to go into here, which let me back that up. You go into Files, you click on Files and Growing to Senior Coach. You come down here to Coach or Client and Coach Checklist. You just need a client checklist for right now. And this literally walks you through what to do with a brand new client. It's pretty foolproof. So schedule a call. Obviously, they're a client already, 20 to 25 minutes. Fill out the health assessment for everyone. Even if you get a credit card thrower, please don't just grab their number and say, oh my God, I'm so excited you're ready to order. Let's just get you going. And then you never did a health assessment with them, and then they fall off 2 months later and you're wondering why. Immediately place the order with the books. Books are non-negotiable. This isn't a diet. Program works with the books. Then you have the information here. We're probably going to change this a little bit as we have launched into Dr. A's 2.0 system, because now we have the app. So we definitely want to make sure we're using the app. Another thing too, guys, if you guys have not ordered the books, please make sure that you have these books and then this book as well. And we're starting to go through it, please. Because if you're going to start sharing with your clients, you're going to have no clue what you're doing to support them, right? And then obviously we download the app, which I don't know if you guys will be able to see that, but it looks like it's that one right there. It's the Habits of Health with the little stones, HOA, Dr. A's Habits of Health. So that's our new stuff. So anyways, that's a couple of the house cleaning things I wanted to kind of get out. Hopefully everybody, if you didn't hear it or need to watch the playback, you can. But basically, as mentor coaches or new coaches, we need to be doing all those same things together and do that stuff. Does anybody have any questions? And please feel free, dude. This is an open forum. This is family. No question's a silly question. Don't feel like somebody's going to say something because, to be honest, I've been doing this long enough. Somebody has a question, they just don't want to ask it, and you're probably going to answer it for them. So does anybody have a question so far? All right, we're doing good. Cool. Okay, cool. So a couple of things I wanted to kind of go over, guys, as we kind of share this stuff. Robert, I like your shirt, by the way. A couple things we go over as we're kind of going through this stuff is I've been doing a lot of exploratory calls, revamping calls, redirectional calls, refocus calls, how to hit the Bahamas coaching calls, how to talk to a stranger coaching calls. And it really all comes down to two things. One is we're really not attached to our why. And we don't even know our why. We have like a superficial why. So it's kind of like fly by the seat of our pants, excited, come like going into a diet kind of thing. And then the second thing is we don't really know how to share our story, or we're nervous to share our story. So that being said, I really want to kind of share with you guys a few minutes. Does everybody honestly know their why? And if you're going to raise your hand, I'd appreciate it if we could play along and I could ask you what your why is. Are we cool with that? It's only going to help us grow. So does everybody honestly know what their why is? Or do they think they know what their why is? Can you raise your hand? Nobody knows what their why is? Okay. All right. Jasmine, I want to pick on you for a second because you lagged. So share with me, and there's no right or wrong answer because this is your why, but maybe we can advance this, and this is like a teachable moment for everybody because everybody's probably doing the same thing you're doing, because obviously you can see most people were hesitant. And I really want us to focus on this because this is the success of whether we decide to stay or walk away based on something silly, right? So what do you feel like your why is? Or why did you get started?
My why was because I was just in so much pain physically. My back hurt every day. My knees hurt. Every single joint in my hand hurt. Going to multiple doctor's appointments, spending money on medications and doctor's appointments and surgeries and time off to go to these appointments. And I had really just hit my rock bottom whenever a gastroenterologist had told me that I might have to have another surgery. And I was like, no, I'm not going to have another surgery. I'm not going to do it. That basically my liver was so inflamed. I had such a fatty liver that it was rejecting any more fat. And of course, for me, I'm just like, oh, well, let's go. How about the keto diet? That's the fad diet that everyone's going on. And he said, absolutely not. You will end up in the hospital. You will kill yourself, basically, if you try to add any more, even if it's healthy fat, that much fat into your liver, your liver can't process it. So, of course, I went back to my sister, who was just like, hey, well, let's try this. Just try it. And again, for me, it was kind of I didn't even want to tell her that I had started the program because I was scared that I was going to fail. Didn't say anything to anybody. For almost 3 or 4 days, she didn't even know that I was doing the program. Because if I didn't tell her, then she wouldn't know that I failed after the week was up. And then, 7 days, 8 days go by and I'm down 8 pounds. That was the eye opener for me. Because even within that 8-day period, I felt different. I felt that mental fog lifting. I felt my fingers, every single joint in my hand was no longer hurting anymore. I started sleeping better within those first 8 days. So, my why was basically because I couldn't even function anymore. Every day was a hard day. Just to roll out of bed was hard. Just to stand on my 2 feet was hard every single day. Walking upstairs was hard every single day. Getting in and out of the car was hard every day. And I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it. And then I think the straw that broke the camel's back for me was having surgery again, having another surgery of possibly, they thought it was my gallbladder. They thought, if I, just so many different things was coming about. And so I was like, no, something has to change. And it's got to start with me. Because if it doesn't start with me, no one else is going to do this for me but me. Nobody else wants this more than I want this.
Okay, perfect. So that's part of your story, right? And part of your why. Now, why did you decide to start coaching?
Because I knew that there were people out there who knows what it feels like to feel the way I felt. And I know that this program can save, if it can help save one person, then I've done my job. I've succeeded in serving somebody else, even if it's just one person. And over the past 9 months, I've helped several more people than just one person. And so that's just a sense of accomplishment, just a sense of motivation to keep going. I feel like, I don't know if you saw my post yesterday, motivation only takes you so far. After that, it's just habit. And so now this is everyday habit of me talking about health and me talking about program. Then now it's just a habit that anybody that I come across, that's what I'm talking about, because I'm passionate about it, because I believe in this program, because I know what it did for me. And I doubted it. I doubted it for so long. I did not think it was going to work. And it made a believer out of me.
Okay. Galaxy Tab, whoever that is, I can't mute you, and you got background noise. If you can mute yourself, please. Cool, perfect, solid. Okay, cool. So, do you feel like you're in a comfortable? Can I ask some free questions? Are you okay?
Yeah.
With that? Okay, so this is a learning experience, and this is very important. And I appreciate you being a little bit of a guinea pig, even though I kind of picked you. And feel free not to want to ask something or not want to answer something. That's totally fine. Do you feel like you're financially where you want to be stably?
No.
Okay. So here's the most crucial part about coaching that people miss the train. Everybody wants to help everybody that's in this business. We have a heart of gold. We've seen a program physically change lives, physically change family members' lives, and that's great. But here's the biggest problem where we don't envision our why. And what ends up happening is when you get on an airplane, what's one of the things that they tell you about the oxygen mask? What's the first thing they tell you about the oxygen mask?
To save yourself, or to put it on you first before you do your kids.
Exactly. So as we're out there saving people as they kind of come in, or we're kind of floating around and we don't really know what our why is, this is where we can start to suffocate ourselves before we can even establish helping other people. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, absolutely, you wanted to be able to, hold on. We wanted to be able to get our why attached. So when we do go out into the world and we do find those things that are happening to us and people are being negative Nancy, or life's hitting us, or, you know, you could use Rocky's silly analogy. It's not how hard you can hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, right? That's where the why is important, because we'll give up on ourselves and we'll suffocate before we can help everybody we want to help, and then we quit. So as much as you didn't want the surgeries, as much as you feel good physically and all that stuff and you want to help people, financially, we need to have a huge why. Whether there's a hailstorm with baseball bat size hail, or there's a crazy hurricane coming in stage 5, whatever that is, we can withstand that to get to where we want to be, to make sure that we can still breathe by the time the storm goes through, right? So that's really what we need to start looking at is physical health. Absolutely. We started this for a physical reason. Do we have a passion to help people? Of course, we're in that industry, right? And hopefully that's what we want to do. But realistically too, we need to be able to put our oxygen mask on first and get there as fast as possible before we can start doing that to everybody else. So financially, what is one of your first financial goals with this business?
My first one would be just to pay off my car.
Okay. What else?
Then it would be
cars paid off right now, right? This is one of our transformational habits. You lead from the future, we act now, right? So cars paid off. What's next?
And then my husband's car.
Okay.
His is newer, so
Okay.
we just bought his. And then student loans. I've got a lot of student loans.
Okay. You don't have to say the dollar amount, but roughly what would you like to pay towards those a month? Not what you think, what would you like to pay?
To pay towards those a month?
Mm-hmm.
At least $5,000 a month.
Okay. And what do you pay towards them now?
Just the minimum payment.
Minimum. Okay. Is that right now? Are you able to pay your bills comfortably?
Yeah.
Okay, good. What else would you like to do? Say the student loans are paid off now. What else would you like to do?
Travel. Really just get around and start traveling more.
Where to?
Well, you know, for the longest time, we never wanted to leave the country because of certain situations, but now we want to leave the country. We want to be able to travel outside of the U.S. and, you know, not just once a year, but, you know, a couple times a year.
Where to?
My first go-to is Spain, is Barcelona.
Okay. And how long would you like to stay there?
2 weeks.
Okay.
I'd say a good couple weeks.
How much do you feel like that would cost to fly over there and stay there for 2 weeks?
Oh, I have no idea. Maybe $10,000, $15,000.
Okay. See how this can start to get into like detail of what this can look like. If we don't know how much certain things cost, we don't know how much we want to make a month. We don't know how many people we need to share with a day. We don't know how many goals we want to hit, right? So, I mean, paying your cars off, that's not necessarily like a super necessity, right? Paying off your student loans, I would assume your interest rate's higher than heck, based on us having to pay off Jennings. Maybe you got a great deal. I don't know. I know ours was like, one was 6% and the other one was 8% or something crazy. But the point is if you get so in detailed and so in tune with this, like 2023, I want to be able to go to Barcelona and I want to take myself there and spend with the family, and I need to have X amount of dollars for plane tickets. I need to have X amount of dollars for lodging. I need to have X amount of dollars for splurging or buying gifts or whatever. And then you start putting that savings account away today, $200, $300, $400 or $500, whatever that looks like. And then in 2021 or 2022 or whenever that looks like for you, we have to have goals set because things are going to come and go. And I think one of the craziest things is I shared this story this morning with a Terry Miller 4 years ago, or maybe it was 5 years ago. She talked about a sweet old lady in Kansas that she lost a bunch of weight and she wanted to be a coach, but she really didn't know what her why was. And so she was kind of just like sitting there neutral because it wasn't that important for her to kind of do anything. But at the same time, she didn't really know what she wanted. So she started out simple with her. She goes, well, what do you really need? Ladies, I really don't need anything. She's like, well, think about it. Like, what do you really need? And so the lady started thinking about it and she goes, you know, I could really use a new front door. The snow destroys our door, and I want to get the door painted, and it'd really be nice to just have a new front door, and that would totally work out with us. And I think I've shared this story multiple times, but the point was she started out small. It was basically 6 clients she needed, and then eventually she needed a whole team because she went from a new front door to new carpet for the house to a roll of hay to a brand new truck for her husband, right? The thing is we have to have these goals written down because as soon as the first one comes and goes, we start to sit idle. And now we're like trying to figure out what the next one is. We need to really map out over the next 2 years what this looks like, right? So by January 1st, I'd like to be consistently putting $5,000 a month towards my student loans. That could be a good first goal, right? And then the second one could be I want to start saving for Barcelona. Come February, I want to be putting away $1,000 for that to be able to go in a year and a half, 2 years or whatever, right? And write these things down. So then right now, current day, we can start getting into action. What does that look like? Because otherwise, a year from now, you could be like, well, I'm kind of making $2-3 grand a month. This is cool. But the thing is with this is if we systematically put this together, if you show up to a job and you do your job every day, there's a cap, right? But if we treat this as a job, even though it's kind of our own business, and we show up every day and we do this, guess what that 4,000 to 5,000 is going to look like in 2 years from now? more like 9 or 10,000 or 11 or 12,000 or 15 or 18,000. See the difference? But we want to just be intentional with our actions because sometimes we're just kind of circling around. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Jasmine, I appreciate you sharing a little bit. But guys, I would really challenge yourselves to go back with your mentors and really, really understand what your why is. Sit down with them for a 30-minute Zoom call. Sit down with myself. Really try to attach what's going on. Like right now, we have the November event coming up. Then we have the Bahamas coming up. But the cool thing about this is, and then we have even our personal event out here in California, in Big Bear, in February, 4th week in February. But if we really map it out 2 years from now, like what we want to do, we can easily start hitting these goals along the way as we're getting to those goals. You know what I'm saying? And it grows. So one other thing I want us to think about is how we share our stories. When we're talking, I notice everybody is super passionate about the weight loss. Super passionate. Like Jasmine, when you were talking right now about the pain, you could feel as you were re-experiencing that pain as you were sharing, right? But the thing is when we get to the financial side, we don't share. And I'm not just saying you in general, it's everybody. Like I shared on the Monday, August Madness, I was blessed because I came into this for the business. So that's like my lead part of my story is I share about the finances. With us, a lot of times we share, yeah, I was down, I was at my darkest spot. I was on medications. I needed to lose weight. I didn't feel good in my clothes. I was fighting with my kids because I was just so tired and cranky all the time. And so then I found this amazing program and I'm down 50 pounds and I'm off of these pain medications and I'm able to run triathlons and do all this stuff. And I decided to pay it forward and help people. And then that's it. Right? But we want to share and the reason I started helping people is because I want to be able to create more time freedom for myself as well. And this business is going to allow me to do that, spend more time with my family, create more income so I can pay down things. Being transparent with our stories, even though it's intimidating sometimes, because it's like, well, I don't want this person to judge me or whatever clay we have in our own heads as we're doing this. You want to be able to share that part because you're not going to tell somebody, hey, I lost 50 pounds, got off of medications, by the way, you should coach, and they're going to just be okay with it. Does that make sense? Is everybody still awake? Okay. This is so Okay, cool. So, but those are the two key factors. If you can get a science down to those two things, everything else will fall into place. We have scripts, we have the maps, we have the checklist, we have everything you need, literally, to walk through this. But the two things that make people flounder is, one, they don't ever put their oxygen mask on, which is their why, their real why, not their superficial why. When I say, oh, I want this for my kids, sometimes that's a superficial why because they don't want to get in tune with other things. Just like, if I can speak freely, Jasmine, when you said I did program for 4 or 5 days, but I didn't want anybody to know I was going to fail. Sometimes people do their superficial why in the business because that way they can say in their own head, justify, well, I said it was for my kids, but just they're so important right now and it just makes more sense to hang out with them and blah, 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 blah in our head. And then it's okay to quit the business or it's okay to not be somewhere, right? And so that's the simplicity of it is if we get our why down, if we really understand our why, what's going on. You want to say how you're trying to stand up and see Jordan or what? Oh, you might have gone number 2. Awesome. Great time for a call, right? Anyways, you're going to have to wait, home slice. Anyways, but those are the two main things I want to kind of get across with us today. So let's do this. I want to keep these calls a little bit more shorter than usual. We don't want to do hour calls. I want to keep them fun and light, but let's do ourselves a favor. What I would suggest is why don't we all really attach ourselves, take a 30 minutes. If you have some time right now, great. If you got to go eat dinner, awesome. But take 30 minutes to really write down some solid goals over the next 2 years, which you want to really see happen. Whether it's a 2-month goal to a 6-month goal to a 1-year goal to a 2-year goal, whatever that is. And then the second thing is really write down what is your story. When we go to those Wednesday breakfasts, when we go to those Wednesday breakfasts, every time we sit there at 10 o'clock, we have everybody share their story. And a lot of coaches, you can see it in their head. It's like, why am I sharing my story? Because they don't share their story. They don't. And the more you practice your story, the more you believe in your story, the more you're going to attract people. How do you talk to a stranger? You share your story. How do you talk to a good friend? You share your story, your whole story. So like, great example. I went to a lunch yesterday. This girl, Tutu, her name's Tutu. Her actual name's Tanisha, but I know her as Tutu. We grew up in high school together. Used to go to parties and hang out all the time. She's a therapist now, doing really well. She's got her master's, but she's borderline not doing well, like almost died kind of thing, like almost lost her foot. So she needs to make a change. And she's trusting in me to work this program and really understand it. But at the same time, when I went to meet with her yesterday at September's place right here in Rialto, I sat down and I immediately was observant of my waitress. Her thighs and her butt look better than mine. Like, this lady works out. Like, you can totally clearly tell that she works out. And so I literally, when she came over and brought me my water and iced tea, I says, hey, do you exercise? And she goes, yeah, I'm actually a strength training coach. And I also work at one other gym. And I said, oh, that's awesome. I said, well, follow-up question, right? Why do you work here too? Oh, well, you know, finances. Ding, 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 right? So what do you think the first thing I did when I started talking to her after I asked her those questions? What do you think the first thing I did with her was? Anybody guess? I shared my story, my whole story. And guess what? I can't find the receipt, but I got her Instagram, I got her phone number, I got her full name, I got her email address, all because I shared my whole story. Well, Tutu was walking in. I was waiting for her to get there, or Tanisha to get in there. And then I even shared with her, I said, this is why I'm talking to Tanisha too. She's going to do my program. She needs to do it. And then we chatted afterwards. She's like, I'll get you my information. She came back with the receipt and the check. She's like, hey, keep this one. But that's all I did was share my story. Shared why I think this would be amazing for her. I can resonate with her because I used to work a lot of hours and not make a lot of money. And she's doing the same, clearly. Her passion is fitness and health. She quit 2 gyms because she didn't like the integrity of the company. They were just selling fad diets with no structure or success. And this seemed like a great fit for her. But my thing is I'm very clear on my why. One of them is sitting in my lap. And for multiple reasons why. I'm not just because she's my daughter. There's things I want her to do when she gets older. And I have those strategies and those goals down on certain dates and times too. But I also know my story, and I start with my story. So knowing your why, really knowing your why, is the key thing to this. Goals and your why, if you connect those 2 things together, are going to be the most amazing thing you can do. And then all you got to do is replicate your story over and over again. Wash, rinse, repeat. Don't change it because you think this person wants to hear it this way. Your story is your story. You share your whole story every time, even if they want to just know the health. Yeah, I'd love to help you. You know, I actually got into this for the weight loss. I had back pain. I had some surgeries. I wasn't feeling good. I hopped on plan after my sister shared it with me. And then all of a sudden, I'm feeling good. And I really believe in it so much, I decided to coach. And honestly, it's been a blessing because financially it's allowed us to do X, Y, and Z. But, you know, I know we're really interested in getting you healthy right now. So maybe we could talk about some of that even later because there's a lot of moving parts to this program. But let's get to your health assessment or whatever that is. Or, hey, I'd love to share with you some stuff. You know what I'm saying? But always layer your full story every time. That's the key thing. So 2 things tonight. If we can really write down our story, 1 to 2 paragraphs, it's just got to be simple and sweet because you got 2 to 3 minutes to share it. You don't need to spend this, you know, booklet of an encyclopedia on your story. You want 1 to 2 paragraphs, 1 to 2 minutes long. You can share it before, found this program, after, why coaching's benefited you and why you decided to start. And then we also want to get our why together and what our goals are. And if you guys need help with that, let me know. We can schedule separate calls and get that going because it's going to be a big shift when you start to have struggles or maybe 10 people told you no that day instead of 4 yeses or whatever that is. That's the key to success and why we believe in what we're doing. Does that make sense? Is this all helpful? Awesome. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go change. Hi. What are you doing? I'm going to go change this little one's fun box, and we'll talk to you guys soon, okay? I'll post a playback in the in-action group. I don't put it in growing to senior coach because there's a couple other teams in there. It'll get confusing. Does somebody get a picture? Can somebody get a picture real quick, please, of the screen? Someone who has a computer, Mitch? Because I got the kid. Thank you, sir. All right, guys, I'll post the playback. Like I said, if you need to schedule calls with me, please do. If you guys aren't in those groups or you hopped on late and you want to know what those groups are, when I post the playback, watch this video. Make sure we're all in those groups so we can get everything rocking and rolling. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great evening.